And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, for the third hour of Masks: A New Generation. So, Starlight's players had to step out for tonight, so we'll just continue without them. So, the fight is going on in this construction yard. It's kind of spilled out onto the road a bit because there's a giant golem stomping around, and you're flying around it and doing stuff, and it's all very hectic. It's superhero collateral damage at its best. But as this is happening, we get like a brief shot of Starlight, who's been overcharging and kind of failing to do so properly, and is boiling over with her conditions. And she's about to to reach up and provide some support in the taking out of this golem. But then suddenly we have this reaction shot from her where she's like, "Oh dear," right? Like realizing that her powers are like bending in a way that she didn't expect, and we have an accidental teleportation. She just winks out and is gone. Meanwhile, however, Sparrow, you are have been forced polymorphed in the shape of a raven. You are diving towards the form of the giant construction yard sentinel thing, as it seems to be kind of like groaning a bit, and you hear like some structural uncertainty in its shape as Morrigan is losing focus on it. You're not entirely sure like if it has a weakness, but
I'm going to try, and I think Sparrow summons the last of the sorceress energies she unleashed.
Yeah.
As a kind of glow around her raven form, and then she flies straight for the golem's heart where it was glowing.
Oh, that's so good.
Trying, gathering the last of the sorcery as dispelling energies again, and then, dive bombing it.
I'm into that. So you do that, and as you do that, we see the golem is catching itself. It's crossing its arms in front of its heart and like making ready to like block you out even as you dive towards it. And it seems like it will be ready for you. And then suddenly we see like from underground, it lurches and its foot like vanishes into the ground. And we see Diamond emerge from the ground, rendering the earth asunder, as suddenly it's just thrown off balance because its leg is sinking into the ground. And its arms go wide and you just sail directly for its heart. Make a move to directly engage this threat.
Yeah.
Good luck.
This would actually have a shot at working. So.
Not if I'm doing it.
Oh yeah, it would.
I don't. Do I get a +1 for the diamond, or is it just that what makes it happen?
Let's give you +1 for diamond. I think that's appropriate. And diamond is also in a position to add team to this if she thinks that.
Oh, you can make it a full hit.
Nice.
1, 2.
Diamond.
Yeah.
Well,
Are you you're into this?
Oh yeah, from 9 to 10, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That would jump it up. You could basically like grab it by the toe and yank
I was
its
about
leg
to
or
say
something.
sure. I mean, I suppose at this point I'm coming up, right behind it, grabbing what would I suppose be the equivalent to its Achilles heel, and just tearing back.
Oh, that's beautiful. Just like yanking it. And
basically just reaching up there and grabbing a hold, yanking her head back while she tears something loose, and just growling up at it and said, "Down, boy."
Of course you do. And you spend do you want to spend a team here to bump the result up? Okay, cool.
That's why I'm doing it.
I'm into that. So basically what this does, this is genius, right? This is good thinking in the terms of what is actually going on. Like you're doing good fiction work here, everybody, because you're yanking back its foot. So it's not only is it off balance, right? And has opened itself towards Sparrow, like diving in, but you're yanking back its legs, so it actually like starts lurching forward and falls into the attack. Of course that would help. Of course it would. Awesome.
Nice.
Good thinking. So you have a 10 result on this roll. That's great. What do you want to pick from the list?
I would like to pick take something from them.
Yeah.
In this case, I guess take away the magics that hold it together.
That's awesome. Yes.
And just because that's what I've been going for the whole time, I would like to impress, surprise, or frighten the opposition.
There is not a lot of suppressing or frightening, I think, of the golem. It's probably going to be destroyed.
the golem is not the only opponent we have.
That's true. You could definitely work this angle on Morrigan. She like notice you over the shoulder of
I mean,
of Vigil.
basically, she was like, "You defeated me once, but this time I have this fella," and we're like, "Kapow! No, you don't. Fuck you."
All right. So you do that. We see you streaking through. We have like this the Dutch angle shot of a streak of light trailing your path through its heart as you emerge on the other side of it, and we have like the like in the lower end of the lower half of the image, we see Diamond yanking on its leg, and the thing falls to the ground, spilling out into like just a landslide of debris, not retaining its form once you've shattered its heart. And down below, we see like in the opposite corner, we see Morrigan tussle with Vigil, like looking wide-eyed as you do this. This is definitely surprising her.
Yes, I should also note that I did not pick avoid or resist the blows.
Yeah, you did not. So this is less like a glorious, majestic swoop through its heart and being like, ha ha, but more like you hit it and then you kind of fall out the other side of it. Like,
Yeah, I
like
just flew through rubble.
yeah,
Ow.
exactly. This could hurt. It could also be that you stand strong. Let's see how well that goes, because you will take a powerful blow for doing this.
So I rolled plus conditions, yeah?
Yeah. All right,
That's
so that's a
a
7 to 9. Pick a 7 to 9 result.
Let's have a look. I give ground. My opposition gets an opportunity.
All right.
That seemed the most interesting of them.
I am inclined to agree. So, what's a good... Do you have any good ideas for what this means? What opportunity does Morrigan get from you doing this? Does some of the debris like land on Finn, and he has to jump out of the way, and she's like free?
I mean, if it doesn't have to be in regards to me.
What? Oh, sorry, are you asking something?
Yeah, it was like I was just checking because I thought this would have to be in regards to me, but if it can affect anyone, then
I think it's like as a result of what's happening. Let me check.
yes.
Powerful blow. Every now and again, all teenagers can use some powerful blow. Don't do drugs, kids.
You're sending mixed messages.
I am.
Oh yeah. Nope, don't do drugs. Just don't. Nobody thinks you're cool.
Giving ground means you retreat, you hold back, or otherwise leave an opening for the opposition. I decided on this, but usually it means your opposition can make some move they otherwise would have been blocked from, without you being able to stop them. Ah, that's good. Okay. So this is like you being jostled out of a position to like you can't meaningfully like assist here. Your world turns topsy-turvy as you emerge on the other side of this thing, and you like land heavily on the ground of the construction yard as the
Possibly
thing...
some rubble on top.
Possibly, yeah. I like that. It's like have the we see you vanish under like a little landslide of items. Who knows what happened to the raven, who is probably Sparrow? Oh yeah, your form isn't super accommodating to physical hurt right now. Ugh. Yep, okay. You're a tiny bird.
I am.
Well, okay, ravens are kind of big, but that's not what I meant. So, this happens. And down below, I'm curious, let's have Diamond, what's your reaction shot to this when you see Sparrow being falling to the ground, kind of like off kilter, and then being buried in a mound of rubble? Do you have push to talk on, Diamond?
No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Can we
Can I
postpone a little? Yeah.
Sure.
Can we postpone a little moment while I crawl further out of the hole?
Absolutely. So this is not your reaction shot. I think instead we just see this collapse happen. Meanwhile, Nightshade. You have managed to regain control of yourself. The last goop have spilled forth from your esophagus, and you and I are like, you can breathe and you can like pull yourself back up, and you're like, what the and you look up and you see this like goopy humanoid, wicked looking creature made of blue goop, looking at you. Its face split open in like a horrible betoothed smile. As it looks on you eyelessly, but yet you still get the sensation of a face.
Mm-hmm.
As it's starting to reform from the goop that when it had exploded, it's now like reforming. It's like emerging from a pool.
So I think Nightshade kind of like picks himself up and wipes the remaining bit of the goop from his mouth and kind of slowly walks and stepping maybe about a couple meters away from this pool.
Hello, brother dearest.
So, what do I call you?
I don't know, rightfully. You don't have much time to think about yourself when you're trapped in someone else's world.
Yeah, well, you're going right back there.
Am I now? Well, if I'm going back as the landlord, not the tenant.
And so, I also want to pierce the mask at this point. As he's talking, I'm like, so what? So you've come and you've gained sentience. Now, what are you planning on doing?
Is this the I'm sorry, I've been so out of it. Is this the that monstrosity blob thing?
Yeah.
speaking?
Yes.
That's
All
exactly
right,
what it is.
and it's still being blobby.
It's reforming. It's kind of like waist high out of a pool.
I have an idea.
Tell
if
me your
I may.
idea.
Go for it.
I've been crawling out of underground, right?
Yep.
Any chance that I've come across something looking like a water main down there?
You haven't had a lot of good eyesight down there, but for the purposes of you interacting with this in a moment, you could totally just like reach down and then yank, and then like you would just like have a water pipe just spilling out.
Precisely. That's the point. I'm gonna let he starts with I'm going back as the landlord, not as the tenant. And I think the only thing he's going to hear to that is from, somewhere behind him is this whole, there are hygiene requirements to moving into an apartment that classy, you asshole. And then she just, turns the water main on towards him.
Nice.
I'm a big fan of this. Okay, so we're okay with this. I know you were setting yourself up to pierce the mask there, but are we okay with this interruption? I think that's...
No, absolutely.
Yeah. So you're trying to bait it, right? You're being like, but I could talk to you, and then Diamond emerges from the background with like a snappy one-liner, and just suddenly there's the scout of water spilling forth. This is really cool. Unleash your powers to overcome this obstacle.
Right, and I am so good at that right now. Nuts. Somebody please be ready to assist with team, because with my rolls as they've been today. Nah, never mind. Well, at least I get.
You do it.
You spray me instead.
Well, that's maybe.
So at least I get some potential out of this.
That's true, you do. And it's not like you fail to do this, right? You do the thing exactly as you planned. It's not you. It's this, right? It moves with like a sudden lurching swiftness that you wouldn't think of it, but because it doesn't really conform to human structure of bone or anything, it just kind of like bends sideways as this like gush of water spills forth, and instead the torrent of water basically like cuts through the space where it was supposed to be and hits Nightshade. So Nightshade, you get bowled over temporarily. You're able to regain your footing quickly enough. You're an agile fella, but as you do so, you see the figure of this beast. That's basically now just like a torso with a face on it and two arms, like clawing its way across the ground with the rest of his body like gooping behind it.
Oh god, that's a creepy image.
I enjoy it too. Thank you for appreciating my mind being wonky. Like claws towards him, like, come here, brother, come to me. I want to petition the entire group here, because this is not a creature I expected would be a thing, but now it is.
Mm-hmm.
What does this creature call itself? What's the name this thing
Mordred.
decides?
Mordred.
That's
Listen. Seriously, guys, Mordred. We have just been fighting. We've just been fighting the original Arthurian sorceress.
Oh
Mordred...
no, it's not Morgan. Don't worry, Morgan exists.
But it's that's what we've the whole Arthurian thing is a thing here. So yeah.
So
I mean, it could.
So instead of spelling it like this, which is how it would be, then.
Oh no! Yes, I was waiting for you to spell it like that.
Yes.
When you said more, like instead of spelling it, my mind immediately knew what you were gonna do.
Yes.
Oh my god, that's so good.
Goes by Dread.
Mr. Dread.
It could be that. We could also have
I have an alternative if you want.
I would like to hear that, but I want to ask something quickly. Is the Latin for death M-O-R-R or single R?
Morse. M-O-R-S.
All right, because it could also have been like worked like that, right? The fear of death. But sure. What was your idea, Rasmus? What was your alternative here?
Since it was created from the Ares serum, it could also go with the Roman name for Ares and call itself Mars.
Oh
Yeah.
But I like Mordred more.
Well, that could be, but Ares is a different style of deity than Mars, as in Mars was, calm, rational, and intelligent, whereas Ares was just, rage on the battlefield.
He was a barbarian. If we're talking D&D classes.
Now my punny mind is making up the name Kingfisher because your name is Aaron Fisher.
Nice.
Yes. Fisher King, still on the Arthurian stuff. The Fisher King is also part of Arthurian legend.
Oh god, these are all good. Which do we want? This is community time. What's the name of this new cool villain that you've just accidentally invented?
Let's ask the dad. Talmud, what do you want your child name to be?
Yeah. Well, everyone feel free to chime in, but Talmud, you're number one here.
I'm kind of liking Mordred, but yeah, spelled like more and then dread.
Sure,
Yes.
Let's go with that. I'm into it. Okay, so it crawls towards you, and we have the creepy, like full panel shot of its face, like in the foreground as it's like distending itself forward, and the half of the picture is like this shouting speech bubble where its gaping betoothed grin is like open and it's like, "Come, brother, come to Mordred," and it's like scrawled. I'm into it.
And so I think as I see him crawling towards me, I like launch myself up off of the concrete, and I'm just gonna curb stomp it.
All right, let's have you directly engage this thing. Diamond, you're definitely not like prevented from in any way assisting here. You did the water pipe thing. It dodged you, but you can you're not trapped. You're not caught in the ground. You can just be on your feet and into things. So don't think of yourself as not involved. You can definitely apply team here if there's a need for it. You can also help even without.
There's a need.
I was about to say I wouldn't mind actually. Okay. I would like to, because obviously that would at least take us up to a hit.
Hell yeah.
And she realizes that the what is it called, the water thing is inefficient.
You could
But at
bend
least
the pipe sideways.
well, she got some kind of attention from it, I guess, but that was about it. But no, she gives up on the whole trying to be clever about this shit because it doesn't work that way. And what she needs to do right now is buy Nightshade just a couple of seconds
Do
to
you
do
grab it by
his
the
thing.
tail?
She quite literally grabs it by the other end and does the puny god thing.
I'm into it. So it's crawling towards you, being all like Silent Hill and nasty. And you jump up to like come at it, and you see it like distend itself and is like suddenly full of claws and spikes and teeth, and it's like, this is gonna suck as you're on the way down towards it. And then suddenly it just gets like ripped out of its intercept course and it slams into the ground, and then Diamond like spins it around like a tennis catcher, just swing it directly into your blow, and you just do this like perfect double team, just crashing into it, just like as you're using double momentum to whip this thing's ass. Oh, I love it so much. So this is not gonna go over perfectly, but it's damn right if it doesn't look splendid. So cool. Pick an option from your directly engaging here. And I'm gonna dock you a team point.
Which means we have no more team.
I think I'm going to resist or avoid their blows. I think that
All right, cool. So
works best fictionally.
I'm totally into that. So that is what's happening here, right? You basically like you kick it to the ground. It like splits and like goops sideways. Like its form probably like dissolves in your hands, Diamond, as it like kind of splatters across the ground and starts like bubbling back up again. You've clearly destabilized it. And yeah, you do it without getting winged.
I was about to say, if I've clearly destabilized it, I've just had it up to here and up to here. And if I stand all the way up on tiptoes and hop up and down on the ground and reach over my own head, then all the way up the fuck here with this cretin and with these sorcerers and this ass hattery and this bullshit, and I want to hit something.
Of course.
So I'm going to charge the asshole and start punching it while it's destabilizing.
Cool.
Destabilizing.
So you just rush it and just start punching into it.
I am going to punch it so hard that it comes apart at the fucking molecular level.
That's so good. So you just like punch it down, and it's like you can feel like you basically almost like astride this like smear of goop.
Yes.
And just punching down like you would in a fucking brawl.
Yes.
And the ground.
And as the pieces
I'm
are like
smashed.
flying away, I'm absorbing the smaller bits back into myself as you're like sending the pieces up and flying.
Sending it flying. Ew.
I'm into it. All right, so
You have so many fetishes, Daniel.
yeah. I mean, so we're playing masks. This entire game is my fetish. I'm
not quite sure how I feel about being part of his
Fetish.
I was about to say ejaculation schedule every 2 weeks.
I mean, you're about 15 years too late on that one.
I know. Thank you.
So, you know, he's around the age of our characters, just saying. They're also, what, 15 to 19?
So shush you. Shush. Don't make this worse than it already is.
It can't be.
So, you go astride this creature, just like punch it, and because you're Diamond and you punch with like the piston-esque force enough to like dent a tank, the ground of course like trembles on every strike, and we see it's like its face trying to reform. Right, we have like a couple of panels of its like face being like goopy and opening his mouth, be like, you can't defeat me, and then. And then its face comes back up again. It's like, seriously, you really can't. Would you kindly stop?
I know it's probably not, the way that people had imagined that this thing was going to get defeated, but I feel a certain personal sense of satisfaction in this.
So as you do this, you are like you're punching it, and yes, you're angry, but you're also
I was about to say this is enough of a stress relief that I was actually going to ask you if I can clear angry from doing this.
not entirely, because this is not sufficient to, like, you're not hurting someone you're not supposed to. This counts. This is your job. You're fine. But here's the thing. You may be like a hothead in this moment, but as from what we've learned of Diamond, even though you're here, like you're kind of like you're a learning fighter, if that makes sense, right? Like
yes.
So I will give you a free assessment of the situation as you're just pummeling this thing, if you want to get like an understanding of what's going on.
I really would like to, because here we go. Well.
Sweet.
My rolls today are not terribly good, but at least that's not horrible.
Yeah. So you come to understand that even though parts of it are breaking off and Nightshade is on, like, in the periphery of your view, like reabsorbing bits and pieces of it, it like keeps doing the thing it does. It's like not, it's very malleable, and as such your strikes destabilize it, but it kind of keeps coming.
That's okay. That's actually all right, because I think at this point, if you'll bear with me for a second here.
Sure.
What I think is going to happen at this point is, if anybody looks, Diamond, who has been doubting her own strength for the last couple of episodes, now has reason to no longer do so. Yep. Which means that if anybody, she's probably standing with her backs to most of the others right now, but if any of them get up so that they can see it, she has an almost manic kind of smile on her face, and there's gleam. Her eyes are they're obviously, the red dots are staring directly at this viscous glob of evil sputum, but she's clearly having, and I think at this point, when it goes this whole "you can't defeat," and then again, "please will you stop," and I think she will just literally, next time she hits it, next time she punches its face into a smear, she will just go, "I don't get tired. I can do this all day and all night and all of tomorrow and all of the next day. Shall we keep going?"
Interesting. So I dig that. That the thing reforms. It's like, stop.
Yes.
Not like just cut out. But
I'm not going to give it time to properly reform while the others come up with some alternative method of containing this cretin.
Precisely. But you do succeed at your assessing the situation. You just only get one answer. So, what question would you like to ask me?
How do we actually subdue this thing most efficiently?
So either what here can I use to trap this thing, or what is the best way to end this quickly? Something like that?
Yeah, how do we defeat this thing most efficiently?
All right, cool. So the thing about this is it's like a goopy booger monster. So it keeps reforming, and you're quite sure of like some of the discomfort you're feeling some of the times you're punching it, that it kind of like tries to latch onto you and bite and sting you. Like, it's probably bad news for this thing to fully form.
Yeah. Another good reason not to let it.
So if you could like draw it into some kind of container, and I think as you realize this and you're like, well, maybe I could, what if I, you see like some kind of like industrial suction apparatus like on the construction yard that would be used for like blasting things.
Yes.
That you're like, like maybe you could fucking like just like suck it in there.
High volume industrial vacuum.
Yeah.
It's a shop vac.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the name of it. Exactly. Well, she will look towards one of you at a point where she has just punched it so that it's spread out and not fully there and needs to reform a little bit. She will turn her head and look to whoever is closest.
Nightshade.
I'll leave that.
Probably me.
Nightshade, yeah. Get the shock vac now.
Yeah, so I run over there, grab it.
She is covered in slime when this is over.
Yeah, and you have this like sensation of that's probably a bad thing, but you'll keep going, and you'll prevent it from doing bad stuff to you.
Exactly, and at least I'm not, I'm not made of flesh and blood, so I must, while it can still clearly affect me, but it would probably have a slightly harder time doing so.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. So but that's her reasoning while she's doing this.
Sure. And Nightshade, you rush, you grab the thing, and I mean, I'm not gonna. Sure, you probably don't know what you're doing, but you can figure it out. And just like bring it over and start the thing. Is that the plan? Just like start hoovering this thing up.
Yes.
Cool. So yeah, that's what happens. We have like this purposefully comedic shot of Diamond's face doing like the wind tunnel thing, like as you're sucking this thing up. And yeah, then it's like, no, stop! What are you doing? I don't wanna, brother.
I don't wanna.
I will have you. And then
I will have my revenge. Sorry, that was horrible.
Curse you, Perry the platypus. And
Yes.
It is a suckinator.
So that happens. You trap the thing in this thing, and you trap Mordred in this suction apparatus, and you kind of like hear it like the machine starts like shaking, like with barely restrained fury. Meanwhile, however, in another corner of the construction yard, Vigil, while this is going on, you found yourself in a peculiar situation. You have just pile-drivered the most powerful witch you know into the ground.
You're now making out.
As you do.
Yes, you're now making out. Yes, exactly.
Seemingly okay, but also very upset with you.
Really?
But you realize
camel clutch.
you realize in this moment that you have provided the perfect opportunity for your team, who've managed to take out the golem above you, and there's like this sensation of victory. So when this happens, Morrigan, who's trapped by the chains that you have lashed around her, looks to you with rage billowing out of her eyes, and she says, "Let me go, boy, or I will break free on my own, and you do not want that. Give the catalyst to me, and I will be merciful when I destroy your piddling order."
He's
Knock
like,
her out. She's talking too much.
he's like, as far as I've seen so much, I am not impressed. And he grabs the chain with both hands and just swings it around and tries to slam her into the ground on the other side.
So you take it and you swing the chain around you, and as you bring it down, the chain just stops dead, and you look up and she has this like glow surrounding her, as she's like seeming to have cancelled her own momentum. And once again the shock rolls down the chain, electrocuting you, and her eyes flare white with sorceress powers as she says, "That is the wrong choice, boy. You will come to know the consequences of your conceit, little Vigil whelp." And as you do that, the chains that are holding her boil and melt around her, as she seems to have just gone completely stark raging at you. It's
am I still covered in goop?
This is happening while this is going on.
Yeah, but the point is, when we're done with the whole goop sucking thing, I will still actually have goop on me, correct? It doesn't, I will still have parts of this thing dripping off me. Am I correct?
I'm gonna say no, because by virtue of you using this sucker, you have trapped all of it. Whereas if you had parts of it, it would be able to escape and reform. So
true.
You are successful here.
All right. Okay. Boo! I was gonna force her to eat some of it.
But yeah, so she the chains fall off her. She ascends and extends hands towards you, palms up, and you feel the ground around you just like sift around you as the land like closes around you. Dirt turns into rock. Rock turns into like sharp crystal, and you just like get elevated on this like pillar that's trapping you. What do you do?
Basically, in trapping me in what way?
Like it's pushing in on you from all sides. You basically like have your like it's like being in a rising sea of like dirt and rock and metal, with where you just have your head above water as you like get elevated up on this like pillar she's raising out of the ground.
You're getting trash compacted.
Yeah, like you get pushed on from all sides while this is happening, and in her other hand, while she's raising you up, you see fire start to crackle. You have this like sensation of doom, as she's not playing anymore.
Yeah. He's like, we're getting serious now. Fine. And he's like, he already let go of the chains while they were boiling out.
Of course.
So he's basically projecting like big gauntlets on his hand, and basically tries to jump off the ground while she's making the all ground shenanigans, and basically tries to uppercut her.
So you're trapped in this thing. So like your arms
he's
are like
trying to.
down
So
your
he's
sides.
trying to use his strength, speed, and magic to just punch through it and go towards her.
Yeah. Let's see. Can you do that? I'm not gonna say you can't. But you are outmatched. Try this with -2. Unleash your powers.
Okay.
You might
Sure.
be able to like to really fucking go all out and be like, I am unexpectedly strong, and break through her enchantment.
Hear my power!
I mean, there's a legit chance that you could. Oh fuck.
Oh dear.
I was hopeful. Okay. So yeah. No, you find yourself completely trapped up there, and she like holds this fire out in her hand, and it drifts forward and seems to like languish around you like little stars waiting to just like swoop in and light you ablaze as you're trapped there. And the rest of you just finish the hoovering, and
Yeah.
look
Okay,
up upon,
I think it's...
look up upon this when Morrigan shouts to you, "You there! This is over. Give
No, it's
me
not.
the bird, and I will let your friend live."
Or we can just kick your ass again.
Exactly. And at that point...
You could try it. You could
At that point, Diamond grabs Nightshade, by the shoulder, just gives him a nod and says, "Are you ready to fly?"
And I just nod.
So
And I throw him at her.
so let's take that after this exchange, because as you do this, as you set this up, she calls to you like, "We can just kick your ass," and she says, "No, you can't, children. And you certainly can't before I destroy this pup." And yeah, you become, of course, aware that like she's holding this like halo of spellfire around
Yes.
Vigil, who is exposed and helpless.
Yes, and I'm still going to do it.
He's
Because
like,
if we
"I'll
do...
be fine."
Because precisely, point number one, you are presumably still armored and consequently at least somewhat protected. That's I realize that may not help in character, but that's how she sees it. Point number two, if I give her the bird, I have no guarantee that she's going to let him go anyway. And if I give her the bird, I doom the bird. So no, there's no way. I'm still going to throw my teammate at her in order
Sweet.
to kick her ass.
Plus,
Also,
Vigil hates witches.
This is in fact a classic example of Deutsche Herbst. This is the situation where you do not negotiate with terrorists.
also, I think the bird might have something to say because the bird would like to defend Vigil.
Yeah, the bird is currently trapped under a mountain of rubble. The bird
Well,
needs
the
to
bird
get out.
wasn't knocked out. The bird was just inconvenienced.
Yes, it was.
The bird has been inconvenienced for a while now.
So in the grand scope of things, not really. It's just a situation of two fights happening simultaneously. You've
Well,
just
in
been
that
inconvenienced
case,
for
I
a couple
call
of
upon
moments.
my command Lucky to defend Vigil.
Oh, that's nice. All right. So tell me about that.
So I think she threatens to, kill the pop, and they throw Nightshade. So I'm guessing she goes to strike. And as she does, in between the strike and Vigil's face, Lightwing flies, taking the blow and forming a sort of barrier.
Oh,
between them.
she's not going to when Nightshade comes sailing at her. Her reaction is not going to be to attack the prisoner she has. Her reaction is going to be to take out Nightshade.
Well, in that case, she hits the bird. Either way, I want to make sure their hit goes through without anyone getting hurt.
All right. So
Anyone except her, anyway.
Yes.
let's see. Your common Lucky. What does it do?
It gives me a pet, and it can use 3 different moves. It can either defend, which is what I'm using. It can also help me unleash my powers, give me a +1, or it can give me a +1 to comfort and support,
All right.
which I never use.
So you use it to defend here.
Yes.
Yes. All right. So Nightshade, you're being fastball special towards Morrigan. She does not seem to immediately lash out towards Vigil. Instead, she turns her other hand towards you, and it's like wave of necrotic energy like rolls forward towards you. But then suddenly, like intercepting you, like flying with you, is the Lightwing. What do you do to prevent this?
As I see Lightwing kind of appear beside me, I smile, and then I draw the sword that Vigil gave me, which I'm guessing is enchanted against witchcraft. And I'm going to use that to kind of like slice through the wave of magical energy that's coming towards me.
That sounds awesome.
And as he does that, the light barrier around him protects him from any drawback there might be.
I am very into this. Okay, so this is... I'm curious about this. So this is kind of like you're defending, but also kind of like he's unleashing. Maybe I'll just say you unleash, but with a +1. How does that
Okay.
sound?
Sounds good to me.
You could also say he unleashes but doesn't take a powerful blow in return. Is that one of the drawbacks of unleashing? I don't remember.
No, that's just gonna happen unless
That's it.
if he fails to cut through this, he's gonna get wrecked.
Yep. Oh shit!
There it is.
We go. And I have a
Not fair.
follow-up that I would like to do to this, by the way, but we'll, this first, but just so that it has been said.
Sure. What do you do?
I would like to, once his hit has gone in, I want to make this a 1-2 punch. She's hanging somewhere, up above. I realize, but I wouldn't imagine that she's 2 kilometers above ground. We can still talk to her after all.
Yeah, you're in shouting distance.
Exactly, she's in shouting distance.
You're in speech bubble distance.
Right, yes. So once once I've launched Nightshade, the moment he's been thrown, or Diamond runs over underneath her, and then literally, she crouches and just does the world's biggest dragon uppercut.
Dig it. So you leap towards Nightshade. You cut through the necrotic barrier. Diamond, you go into you follow up, and as both of you jump towards her, like continue your movement, Nightshade, you find yourself like as you're coming towards her, sword raised, you suddenly like lurch uncomfortably as you're being forced, like stopped by some kind of like force around your neck. Diamond, you experience the same thing as you're on your way up. And she looks down on you, and there is this, like the comic book artist is making like an effort here to be like supervillain versus teenage superheroes, as she's like, no more frontal assaults. I am done. I will take the bird if you won't give it to me. And she like spreads her arms wide. The pillar crumbles and tumbles to the ground. Nightshade, Diamond, you're both like ejected outwards. By like a field of sorcery, pushed back, and you become aware of this like shimmer surrounding her as she descends single-mindedly towards the pile from which Lightwing emerged.
That doesn't stop me from trying again.
Yeah, same thing. I'll just keep running after her.
Both of you leap to.
She will quite literally need to disassemble me before I stop trying.
Yeah, I think that's. I mean, so that's a demonstration of determination on Diamond's behalf, right? You
Exactly.
Jump towards her and try again, but you have the same experience. Like you jump towards her, your energy is cancelled out, and you just feel this like rebound shot. The shock is
Actually, I would like to use I would like to use a move here.
What move do you think you're using?
I would like to use the move called Unstoppable.
Unstoppable is the one that lets you power through barriers, is that correct?
Yes, exactly. And if she's shimmering and making herself, and making it so that I can't get through the barrier to get to her, I'm using the Unstoppable move to get through the barrier to get to her and punch her in the face.
She's essentially what this is to make the whole thing a little bit less mystical, is using sorcery to reverse your kinetic output.
Yes.
Let's see if Unstoppable will help you here. You smash your way through scenery to get away from something. The world breaks before you. You get what you want. Mark behind on a miss. You smash through, but leave devastation in your wake or wind up somewhere worse. This is so. Yeah, I get what you're going for here. You can't your character can't choose to use the move, right? It's part of who you are. So you'd be like, fuck this! I'm going through this wall right now. You can't stop me.
But it's again, it's the determination thing that you just mentioned.
Yeah,
you set your mind to this. I am getting through this.
So you try, but you find that the frontal assault is not working. Like you throw yourself at it and it rebounds you. It's not that you couldn't, that you can walk through a wall if you put your mind to it, but that's clearly not what the issue is.
Wait a second. I have an idea then. You said that it was because she reversed the kinetic energy, right?
You're not aware of this. This would be an assessing thing if you wanted to. I'm telling you because I'm dumb.
Yeah. No, but then I would like to. I would like to assess.
Yeah.
To find out if that is the case, because there is a simple way of defeating that.
We'll see.
I was actually going to suggest doing that. So
there is that is explicitly what funnily enough, considering this group, but that is expressly what the martial art wrestling does. So yeah, I'm going to try to assess the situation.
All right. So while you keep we have this kind of this very impressive show of determination from the both of you, where you're just running towards her and getting cancelled out. Nightshade, you're coming in, you're swinging, you lightning arches up the blade, you feel yourself pushed back, spinning through the air, you land, you catch yourself, you go in again, but you just have the same this feeling of being suddenly just pushed back by this wave of nauseating power. As she's moving towards the pile of refuse and raising her hands, the refuse starts lifting off of the raven that is buried beneath. And
should I roll, by the way? Yeah.
Not quite yet. As she does this, we have a shot from you, Sparrow, Suddenly there's light again. You can see there is more than garbage surrounding you. The problem is that a different kind of garbage is clearly standing there, looking upon you as though she's quite done with this.
Yeah, of course the bird tries to attack her then.
Of course.
I mean,
however,
with a defiant look in her on her birdie face.
Exactly. However, while this is going on, you have the opportunity to stop and be like, okay, hang on, this isn't working.
Yeah.
Let's be smart. What's going on here?
Exactly. I'm gonna try it.
Yeah, let's see it. I believe. Cross our fingers.
And
Damn.
well, at least that gives me my fifth potential.
Awesome.
There you go.
Congrats.
So
So I think. Oh God.
I have no idea what to do about it. Basically, it's how I see it. Is just plainly she tries to figure it out.
We're panicked and just trying to save Sparrow.
Yeah.
I think what you come like, it's not that you can't do it. I think it's different from that. It's not an inability on your behalf to realize what's going on. It is a question that you're scanning it, right? Like, this is what it is when you take something in. And the thing you become aware of, like as the output of the message is like your scanning is registering magic. Unsurprisingly, Adoy internal scanning devices, but it also comes like with a warning, and you have like a bunch of like weird, confusing fluctuations marked, where you're just like, well, like fuck, right? It's constantly shifting. It's changing polarities. It's doing other scientific words and also magic. You need some kind of like angle of approach here, and I think this would be good. But can it? Yeah. Okay. Yep. So you become aware of something.
Yes.
You could, if you wanted to, in this moment.
Yes.
That's a good band.
What, in this moment?
Yes.
Okay, let me make a note here. In this moment, you need a magical charge. Sidelong view at Vigil pulling himself out of a mound of rubble.
Yeah.
And you need something to conduct your metal.
Yes.
And if you get all up in her business with the right charge, the right force, you can bend the magics that she's using right now and basically like randomly wink her away from here. You can just be like, no, you don't get to be here right now. But, and here's the thing, like you don't know where she would end up. Hopefully somewhere uncomfortable. Hopefully in jail. But,
well, yeah.
But
and
to do this is going to be a risk to you to do this.
I was about to say, because I think, remember, the metal is covered by another, by something else.
Yeah.
So in order for this to happen, I need a blast of magic through me that is strong enough that it will actually crack the diamond.
What you actually need in this moment is you need something, preferably chemical, that could weaken your diamonds enough that this could that you could interpose this effect.
I think the way she's but I think what she sees this as is, because I'm also seeing as I just got my fifth potential, right? What I'm going to do is, I mean, it's relevant. It's relevant. I promise it's relevant. I'm going to take. She has let's call it a moment of clarity, an epiphany,
a moment of realization,
where she understands at last that she's her own person, and that she has power over her own life in a way where she can, in this situation, make the actual difference. and all it's probably going to cost her, as far as she can reason and ration, it might not be the way, but that's how she sees it. All she has to do is die. She sees this, but if she believes if something this powerful hits her, it'll break her. Literally, it'll shatter the diamond covering. She will be gone. But in doing so, she's also taking complete control over her own life. Thereby, Colonel Van Halen just lost her influence over her permanently. And I'm upping my savior by 1.
Nice.
I don't have a badass trumpet, but if I had, I would blow it. I love it. So you become aware of this. You know the risk. You know it, and you accept it.
Yes, and she looks at
now your friends need to get in on it.
Exactly. So she looks at Nightshade and shouts to him, "I need the strongest acid you can possibly make, and I need it all around me right now." Acid is also a conductant, incidentally. So, and I need it all around me right now. I don't want to hear arguments. Just cover me in the strongest acid you can make. Finn,
Sorry, go on.
Everything you have into a blast through me. You use me as a superconductor right now. Don't argue. Just do it.
I think Nightshade is like, gives you a skeptical look, but doesn't say anything, and you just see him poof into like this corrosive, very corrosive, acidic cloud, and just starts swirling around you.
Yeah, and she goes transparent at this moment, which means that this does not get pornographic, because obviously her clothes are dissolved.
So, I'm into it. I'm really into it. Here's my question.
And she holds out, one hand out through this corrosive mist towards Finn, where can probably see little cracks on the diamond starting to form. So basically the whole give me everything you've got.
Absolutely.
God damn it, brain.
Now, answer me this riddle.
Yes.
Diamond, you're obviously at a monumental badass in this occasion. However, you two, boyos, the lads, are you into this?
Boys.
Are you convinced of this? You are perfectly welcome to be. You're also perfectly welcome to call for Joan to expend influence or whatever is necessary. I'm just asking if your characters are into this. It sounds dangerous.
I would be more than happy to expend a hold over Vigil to start with to get him to.
I don't think you have to.
Okay, he will do it.
See that?
Right.
I'm deliberately provoking you with these questions because it tells me about your group.
Yes, that is a good point.
I think they worked out their game. Like he's willing to trust her. Like
I dig it. Trust mode activate.
But Finn is out of his constraints.
You managed to crawl out of the rock.
Yeah. And she extends the hand to him. Before he's with the exposed metal or something.
Yeah.
What it is for you is you were shot out of the construction yard, so you're coming back in when you hear this being shouted at you, and you can basically line it up, right?
Yeah.
But
I mean, that's the thing. She's got her back turned right now, looking at the bird, so I can aim my the free hand, the blast directly at her back and take out this bastard. That's the hope anyway, or at least take out her barricade long enough for the two boys to go in and finish her. That's what I think is going to happen.
Yeah, that I would say what Finn wants to do, to give her a little bit of momentum.
Yeah.
He wants to grab her by the exposed metal. Speed up to her or so.
You're super fast.
Yeah. Grab her by exposed metal. Pull her close in, and before anything, say to her, "This is your moment, Diamond. You can do it. I believe in you." And before everything happens, he wants to comfort her support.
Oh, that's
Before he throws her.
All right. So I get what everyone is doing now. So let's take it
Yeah.
in stride. We have a panel by
Yeah.
panel here. You
Yeah.
you give the call. Nightshade, you nod at her. You trust her. You become a cloud of acid and you swirl around her. We get an internal view of Diamond's internal scanners being like, warning, warning, outer shell breached. Fuck. And yeah, exactly. But you're powering through it, and we get the kind of grisly but tastefully done like shot of the Terminator skeleton reveal.
Yes.
So we see your metallic subconstruct, and Finn, Vigil, you go in, you grab her, you exchange this moment, and we definitely have 2 moves here to set for the boys to set you up. So first and foremost, this acid thing is happening, but let's see if it's happening without problems. Unleash your powers, dude.
Do I get any situational bonuses?
If you have influence over, you get plus
Diamond,
one.
you get plus 1.
Influence over diamond.
Yep, I do.
Go. Yep, you do it. The effect is you tell me, of course. I think the effect is temporary, right?
Yeah.
That's
the
what
thing,
I was
isn't
gonna
it?
go
It's-
with.
It's meant to be. I mean,
Yeah. So definitely that happens. Finn, you extend an effort to comfort and support.
Yes.
Joan does. Diamond. Do you reciprocate? Do you reckon that's a thing you do?
not only does she reciprocate, she actually looks straight at him when he does that, and she says, "I'm sorry."
Oh,
He's like, don't be, you're coming back. And he's like, yeah.
It's pretty clear from the look on her face that she doesn't actually think she is.
but you're being looked
Yeah.
upon with
Yes.
stubborn defiance.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm adding also plus 1 for influence over diamond.
Absolutely, you are.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Nice.
Nice. Oomph.
The feels.
There is some.
Yeah, but
serious-
yes, I was rolling at like plus. No, to be honest, it didn't add the modifier, but it should be plus 4 to that, so it should be 15 actually.
Excellent.
I think so. Okay, so does that mean I can remove a condition?
You can.
yes.
I'll say what
You
can
can
do.
mark potential, clear a condition, or shift label if you open up to him, which
I do open up to him, and I would personally, what I would say in this situation is, I think she'd remove afraid. This would be really reassuring.
Yeah,
Then-
and
This would be
I
a
will
moment
add-
of, a moment of complete calm just before this horrible thing happens.
yeah,
And I will also add 1 team to the pool since I rolled.
good job. All right.
Nice.
So we jump the team up, and then Finn, unleash your power if you want to give her this like this.
Can I wield my power in this moment? Since it's
What you
mean,
want
then-
what you want to do here is exactly the opposite. You don't want to use precision. You want to just fucking suffuse her with the power of the Avalonian artifacts. It like precision be damned.
Yes.
Actually be damned. This is she is the precision instrument. You just need to apply the force.
okay.
Oh dear.
Yeah, you do it.
God.
You do it. No problem.
Oh wait.
Massive feedback loop for you, but yeah.
I have a backup plan now. I just hit my another advancement.
Hooray!
Oh god.
So you supercharge her. You feel like this and actually, what am I saying? Why don't I shut up for a moment? What does it look like? How is it painted when you when the power of your manacles and your armor and your jazziness here, you use that to cover as well as you're able, like a diamond in your energies? Does it like take the form of like an armored shell?
Oh my
or
God.
is it like a
No.
light?
It's
Yeah,
when the
probably.
Green Ranger gives the shield and the stuff to the Black Ranger.
Yeah.
Versus the Power Rangers. That's the
Yeah,
middle
basically,
I see.
Basically, how he was holding Diamond was the this kind of like armored gauntlet kind of handshake.
Yeah.
Or the grabbing the forearms instead.
Yeah.
So he was
Grabbing around
holding
the
the
forums, yes.
holding Diamond like that, he's like, you see him focus, and you see his armor and even his gauntlets like disappear, like dissipate, and start appearing on Diamond.
Oh, nice.
Wow,
I'm
that
into
is
it.
cool. That is cool.
Yeah.
Into it. So this happens. For a moment, you are left drained. Of course you are, right? You're temporarily without your power. That is awesome. So we see like mundane Finn, like still looking gorgeous, like a baller, but with less of the holy glow about him, and more like I'm looking good, but I'm also a teenage boy. And then it's on you, and we of course we have like the interjecting like reaction shot of the evil like world threatening witch bearing down on the tiny bird, and then Diamond.
Yes.
What do you do?
Diamond attacks her because this is now a matter of her having to do what she does best. She has to use this power to stop this threat. This is
You just barrel into the barrier.
This is yes. She barrels into the barrier. She digs in these newly gauntleted fists that she's got, and she, tries to literally rip the barrier open in an attempt to get to the evildoer beyond, and in doing so, using every single servo, every single ounce of strength that she's got she's and at this point, not only is it no longer a matter of whether she herself will be saved, because she's pretty sure she's not going to be, but it's not about her anymore. It's exclusively about saving Sparrow. And the way she sees it is, well, this whole Arthurian thing it's full of heroic last stands anyway, so if this has to be mine, then that's how it's going to be. So she is perfectly prepared to go toe to toe to force this woman to retreat. She doesn't believe that, I can beat her, or I can take her out, or I can take her down. That's that's not the idea. That's not how Arthurian legend works anyway. You don't actually defeat the great evil. You banish it for a while. So that's how she looks at it, is, all right, I have to go in there and be ready to take Mordred's spear and beat her down, get her to retreat.
Definitely.
And I actually have an idea of how that would look when she does so.
Paint it. So the paint the like charging Diamond for us. What does it look like? Is it like a close up? Is it like a half shot? What does it look like?
It starts with being it starts with her being, again, just the skeleton, the metallic skeleton, now however armored. But then as she begins to move little by little, slowly, she becomes, she starts to look human again, one little piece at a time. It becomes, her face turns human again, and her it looks like her skin becomes normal to look at again, just as she barrels into this what's it called, this barrier, and she, as I said,
yes,
rips it open, and as she engages the woman on the other side to force her to retreat, with every blow she actually lands on the witch, a piece of the armor vanishes with every blow that because she expends the energy into the blows. So every time she hits her, and when the last blow finally lands, she sinks down into, more or less into, the pose that you see the Terminator in when it arrives from the future, this crouch, bent over, and her fists at that point would be fused lumps of metal. They would be useless basically, and she would freeze in that position, unable to move. for all intents and purposes, she would have shut down.
Let's see.
And that's how I see it would play out.
I'm into this image. Let's see if that's so. I'm kind of like digging the vibe of fighting her off. But if you do this like for real, you won't even give her the choice. Right? That's the thing you realized in this. That's the choice you had to make. Right? If you have the right magic charge, which you do, if you have the right method of delivery, which you do, it's you. You won't even give her the choice. You're trying like this barrier will like reverse and just fucking knock her randomly out of existence. Just be like, no, you don't get to it. Like, now I banish you from my presence. Be gone, witch. So you get to just wreck this girl's day if you do this.
That's the plan anyway.
Unleash your power +2. This is gonna go down, but the question is how it's gonna go down.
Yes.
I believe in you.
Well, it's a hit.
You dive forward. There is a very beautifully elaborated.
And I spend team.
Yes, and added one team, we can spend it.
Oh, right. Yeah.
That's right. So we can get a full hit.
All right. So you don't even actually shut down on this one. Here's okay. I will allow both Nightshade and Vigil to collectively... Yeah. Actually, fuck it. Nightshade, Vigil, and Sparrow both. Like, the three of you, respectively from within the barrier and from without the barrier, can assist in this. Like, even Sparrow, like, you maybe realize what they're up to in your last moments of holding on to your Sorcerer's Energy. So you're like, wait, I see what they're doing. If you want to, you can spend that team point and just kick it up to...
God, I know exactly what I'm doing.
I know what Sparrow is doing then.
Alright, so let's take it from Sparrow. What is your contribution?
I don't think she can do much, but as Shu said, she catches on to that last remnant of Sorcerer's Energy. And the raven just kind of starts glowing, and the white barrier starts rippling around her as she tries desperately to disrupt it.
Right, you realign it so the thing that you realize Diamond is shooting for, you know you can, like, make it more likely from the inside.
Yes.
Hopefully even turning herself back into a sparrow in the process. That would be nice.
That's great. That would be nice. That's your contribution. Nightshade.
Staring angrily at the woman.
Of course.
Yeah, I see Diamond running in, and so I unsheath my sword, and I holler at her, and I just throw it at her for her to catch and use as the focus for it.
Yeah.
I'm into it. Vigil, you are Sun's power right now, but I'm imagining...
Since he's arcane depowered, he is just doing like, well, fly you little bird, and he just flexes all he has and just throws Diamond, giving her like extra momentum.
Right, you like Irish hooker?
Yeah,
Irish
hooker.
Yeah.
Woo. Yeah. Okay.
With a sword and oh my, ouch.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
If I clothesline this woman, it's gonna get bloody.
And you get this. You expend the team. You kick it up to 10. So it has the exact effect that your onboard computers predicted. There is not even like. It will have a consequence. We established it will have a price. But so we see you like whip towards it, and Morrigan is within the barrier. In the animated show, this would be like a drawn out, like intense music moment where it'd be like, "Now you're mine, little bird," right? As she like extends a hand to grab White Sparrow, and then you come charging from the back, sword outdrawn, glowing with Avalonian power, and you ram into the side of this energy field. Morrigan turns around, she's like, "What? No!" And the energy like waves just coruscate back out, back in, and then just subtract to her place. She winks out of existence. The backfire splits the sword and like rolls up your arm, and you get tossed to the ground. Your arm explodes in a shower of metal fragments, and as you roll and come to a stop, you open your eyes and you look up at the night sky of Halcyon City. You sit up, look to the left, look to the right. Everyone's okay. Morgan is gone. You did it.
Woo!
Woo!
You have a
Thank
what? You have what passes for a pain in your arm, but it's not there.
I'm. Ow. And then she just
run over and I'm cheering and I help you get to your.
You can just see her at that point. I think for damage assessment and so on, she goes into minimal power. So
Yes.
The light in her eyes dims to a pinprick.
Yeah, we see the robot faint, right? Like that's essentially what it is.
Right.
Yeah, if Nightshade goes to Diamond, then Finn just runs like all casual in his all casual clothes now to retrieve Sparrow. Well,
Actually, Daniel,
Yeah.
if I was within the barrier, wouldn't I be expelled as well?
No, the power reverberates back into the point of
caster.
origin, and she
cool.
doesn't. Yeah, Diamond. Thinking like computing the exact metrics. It's been like, no, I need like a lot of shit to make this work, but then I am going to use your snooty holier than thou god block to just fuck you out of this place. Just out you go.
Did I turn back or am I still a raven then?
You're a bird.
The bird tries to get up standing and then I suppose hobbles towards the others.
yeah, he'll take her up on his on his hands, and just say to the bird like, "Sorry for being late. We're finally here for you." And
Yes, thank you. I'm not good at animal sounds.
I don't assume Finn can anyway focus his power to try to like filter out this effects of like Morgan's magic.
Sad, no. Also, you
Okay.
are currently Sans power.
Yeah.
He's Sans power, and Pharaoh is temporarily ravenized, and Diamond has shut down and gone into power saving mode, and yeah, wow, epic.
You did the thing. Do you
We did indeed. Bling
immediately
bling, let's do this thing.
do you immediately leave the place, or do you like stay around and make like prop up Diamond, make sure everything is all right? Do you want to like make a point of just amscraying immediately?
No, I think I'm gonna like make sure Diamond's okay before we start taking off anywhere.
All right. So you're hunched around the form of Diamond, and the Raven is. Are you like perched on vigil? Where are you? Where are you at?
Sitting on Fidget's head, just
Like fucking Odin over here.
All right. So you're hunched over the form of Diamond. When there's like a clack and then a flash of light, and we see the headlights of some kind of vehicle like light up the background and like shoot light into the foreground. You become silhouettes in the frame, and we have like a top down shot, a bird's eye view of the grounds where we see APCs with a shield with an Alsatian painted on it, and the word Aegis with like a dot between each letter, of course.
Of course.
Arrive, and we have like the establishing shot of like a bunch of like transports and similar like having surrounded the area, and walking through the towards you, backlit by these rays, comes the form of some person wearing like an outdoor jacket and a suit, looking down on you, then throwing a cigarette to the ground, stepping on it. Wow. You boys and girls really did a number on this place.
I think at that moment, that's the first time Nightshade kind of looks around and realizes they probably just demolished a block of the city.
It's like a construction yard has definitely been destroyed. There used to be a budding high-rise here. That is no longer a thing. It has spilled out into like nearby streets. Morrigan's little golem trick like pulled in refuse from the nearby block, basically. And the golem has like swung around and like wrecked a bunch of shit immediately surrounding the construction yard. But all in all, the amount of destruction has been somewhat limited. But it's still kind of severe here.
And Finn would be like, I think we did better than the last time. Looks around.
Yeah, sorry about that.
I think at this point, I think Diamond's one remaining hand just slowly comes up and grabs a hold of the arm or the shirt or whatever of whoever is actually. I think it was Nightshade who was propping her up, right? She reaches up there and she grabs a hold of his arm and just very it's very she speaks robotically right now, very chopped words and so on. She's just, fine, father.
What's your reaction?
You just said fine, father?
Yes.
Yeah, I just kind of like open mouth agape. It's like, look between Diamond, look between the Aegis guy.
So he texts you, what? She looks like she's seen better days. Look, can we dim the lights for a moment, please? And the someone in the APC is like dimming lowering the projector floodlights, and you see in the now still like somewhat lit grounds that you're looking upon the face of Special Agent Wilson of Aegis, the guy who questioned you after you first destroyed a block, Starlight and Nightshade respectively, when you were entrapped in the archway.
This is like the Phil Coulson of Aegis.
Yes, that's what that is. Yes.
Okay.
So he looks at you. He's like, "Well, she's seen better days."
Fine.
All of you okay?
But what?
What's she saying?
What, father?
Fine, father. Fine. Riley Newman.
I was about to say I believe she's referring to Mr. Newman. I'll put my agents on it. And you see like a couple of dudes wearing hazmat suits and also a couple of people wearing advanced high-tech looking riot gear with laser weapons, like patrolling the grounds. Some of them are like, walking around with like little meters that make beeping sounds, like EKG meters. And some of them stop by the vacuum thing that you use to trap Mordred.
Mm-hmm. And he's probably still rumbling in there.
Exactly. Like, sir, we're getting readings from this thing. And he looks to the group of you, and like Wilson looks to the group of you and cocks an eyebrow.
I can explain later. Don't let him out.
What kind of restraints are we looking at here?
Vacuum cleaner?
Well, he's in a shop vac right now, but I'm guessing if he's anything like me, poisons, acids, toxins, he's malleable.
All right. Well,
he's very ill-tempered.
All right, boy. Got the thing just for that. Bring her in! And there's the beeping of a truck backing up. And then like a bunch of dudes jump out of the back of an Aegis truck with like a special like plexiglass like capsule with like a hose on it. and just like reverse the thing, and just like suddenly this like blob just like sputters inside. It's like splats on the inside of this glass container and starts forming in there. It's like, what? No, let me out. What is this? And he notices you. He's like, brother, I'm coming for you. I'm coming. And then Wilson just like clicks a button, like a little metal panel on the side of it that turns blue, and the thing goes soundproof. And it's just like noiselessly bangs on the inside.
He is probably going to be a real nuisance at some point in the future, but until that point, he's hilarious.
I think maybe freezing him would do the trick. Now that I think about it.
Don't worry, we'll put him on ice. Anyway, I should probably write this up.
Yeah.
But don't suppose I have to do it right now. If you got somewhere better to be, wink.
Yeah, he's like Finn actually looks at the raven on his either head or shoulder, whatever the sparrow decided to sit. I think I know the place that might help with this.
You got a bird problem?
Yeah, somewhat.
Well,
it's not the bird. It's not the bird that I usually like.
Don't like birds.
That bird just flips. I mean, birds. We said bird too many times, I think.
Bird is
Nope.
the word.
Yeah, and we also I think had to get Diamond to safety.
Well,
Surfing bird.
I think the
No.
bird in question turns around on Finn's shoulder and lifts its tail, exposing its cloaca.
Finn is like, "Don't you even dare! I will get them pluck your wings out."
So Wilson takes out like a personal data assistant or something, like a phone, tablet, and starts like tapping on it and says, "Well, look here, kids. Look here, heroes. I'm going to have more company here than I want to deal with. So why don't you just decide for yourself if you're gonna stay around here? We'll have a look at this young lady for you, see what we can do about your bird, or take off, and I'll forget we saw you here. Your choice."
I don't know. Finn looks at Nightshade. It's like, I don't know. I don't have any means to help Diamond. I'm not dealing with technology really. Like this might be an idea.
Yeah. So he's basically like giving you the choice, right? Because he knows you, and you had he kind of like falls, like he came off as an ass the first time he met, and he's self-conscious of that. That's clearly what's going on. So he's giving you the choice, right? Be like this can be like, you can get officially involved here, in which case there's gonna be a bit bullshit, but I'm gonna help out. Or you can just like be off, and this will have been, another instance of supers doing stuff and us arriving at the scene. But yeah, you're basically given that choice. He's offering to turn a blind eye.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is one of those situations where it might be a good idea to not have him turn a blind eye. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
somebody needs to rebuild this piece of very, very serious hardware here.
I know. That's what I'm like. We don't have the means to rebuild you, so.
Yeah, Nightshade. Finn is like to Nightshade. Nightshade, go with Diamond, and then I'll take care of Sparrow if she wants to. And he looks at the bird.
The bird doesn't seem keen on staying here.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'll help. I'll help Sparrow. I think this is more my speed.
Yeah, take her to the Order. I'm sure they've got something they can do to reverse what
That's what
Morrigan
that's
did.
what I was thinking.
Oh yeah, just what I need. Having to deal with your ass of an elder. Well, you go, boy. We'll catch up.
All right, and I looked at Special Agent Wilson. I was like, "Well, I guess I'm staying here with you."
All right. What's the name again? Night something.
Nightshade. I look a little offended when he says that.
Right. Nightshade.
Nightshade. Shade.
All right. Well, don't worry, boy. We'll take good care of her. And scene fade out. As Aegis surrounds and cordons off the area. There's like a helicopter hanging in the shot. And then we cut to like a coastline. And it just like reads, there's like a the little caption box in the top corner reads like Southwest City. And there's like a cargo what's it called? Like there's a trash hauling ship like sailing into like a bay, like a bunch of seagulls flying over it, and there's like a little glimmer of light, and Morgan Le Fay like just falls out of the air and lands in like a pile of garbage. Just like rolls around, like catches herself, spits out a banana peel, looks where she's at, and just shouts in fury at the sky, and we just cut away from that.
She's gonna be pissed.
Yep.
All right, let's terminate the issue here. This is the end of today's issue.
Okay. So before we close down the issue, I'll just say what advancement did I took.
Yeah, if any one of you know what advancements you're taking, now is a good time to bring that up.
Yes. Well, I already explained which one I took, so.
Oh yeah, you did.
I have an idea for a cover title, though.
Yeah, I've got an idea as well.
Let's take that as our last thing, but sure, keep hold of those ideas. Finn,
Yeah. So
what are you gonna pick?
so I'm taking one of the advancements from below the line.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's basically lock a label and add +1 to a label of your choose. So I'm locking my mundane.
What's that?
Plus a 3. Finn was a good boy.
Yeah. Okay. So
He was.
Savior 2, Mundane 3. You're like a really feel-good kind of guy, aren't you?
He definitely is.
And I will add +1 to superior. Yeah, sure, why not?
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Does anyone else have any like stuff like this we need to talk about before we go into end of session moves and?
I did. I filled out one or crossed off one drive.
Yeah,
and
you did.
The one I took in place of it is lead the team successfully in battle.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, and you're actually the team leader now, so you know.
Yep. Works out.
Into it. Okay. So that mark another potential, of course. For having completed a drive.
Ready?
Is there anything else, or do we just go into end of session moves?
I think just end of session.
All right, let's do this. So, starting from the top, as we do. Diamond.
Yes.
What's your end of session move?
She could be said to have, become more, to have grown into an understanding of herself with, especially with the advance that I took of locking out Van Halen once and for all. She loses influence permanently over her.
Yes, that is
over,
definitely an option.
And improving her savior and all that, which takes it up to -1. So yay. But I could do that. But I actually think that extraordinary piece of teamwork and Finn's comforting of her just before she, for all she knew, she was about to blow herself up. That was something else. So I'm going to say that she grew closer to the team, and that Finn was the one who particularly made her feel welcome.
All right, mark that. And yeah, you had hella teamwork on display. You just not only did you survive, you didn't even escape from. You can't, like, you can be said to have defeated. I know you didn't beat her down and bring her to jail, but still, like, you ended the fight on your terms against one of Halcyon City's A-listers. Against Morrigan, who leads the Avalonian Coven.
So we are currently 2-0 against her.
Last time you fought her, one of you ended up permanently in a wheelchair. There was a bunch of time crystals being created that have powered villains for the past long while. You destroyed an important city fixture and endangered countless lives, which was enough for you to get a reporter permanently on your ass. That's what happened last time you fought her. This time, way better. Good for you.
So yeah, definitely. So that's so what is moved up and what is moved down?
I think a song. Freak down one and
Wow, I'm
Saber
down.
one up.
Wow, I'm down to -1 freak. Imagine that. However, my savior, that means it's up to 0.
Grand. All
I
right.
am now a dangerous and superior and slightly mundane person.
All right. Vigil. What about you? What's your end of session move?
Yeah, I think I'm just thinking now. Yeah, I think grew closer to the team now. Yeah, I think so.
Who made you feel closer?
I think I think what was it? Yeah, I think Sparrow with her timely saves and, like, cooperation with Finn.
Yeah, your teamwork just played well.
The clutch takedown of Morgana, which opened up the Colossus to be dead.
Yeah, you attacked and then Sparrow intercepted and let you attack again, which let you put Sparrow in a position to attack. It was just like this great clockwork.
It really was.
Good for you. So so to give Sparrow influence.
She has.
All right, what do you want to change about?
Well, you cannot change my savior or mundane.
Yeah, I can see that. So instead, I think I will up your superior, because it seemed like you used your head for most of the combat. And I will down your danger.
Danger, man.
Danger, Will Robinson. All right.
I cannot hold all this potential.
So much potential.
Yeah, because I don't even have conditions to clear. It's just like Finn is such a good boy right now.
All right. Next up, Nightshade.
Definitely grew closer to the team.
Yeah. Who made you feel closer?
Mordred.
I guess I'm gonna say Diamond because she helped me take care of Mordred.
Yeah, of course. So do you give Diamond influence?
Well, I have it, so
All right.
What you gonna change?
we shall move some things around here.
Yep.
Did you have any of them locked? I can't remember.
Savior is locked.
Savior is locked. Yeah, that makes sense. I was gonna raise it if it could be, All right. In that case, well, seeing as you expelled this horrible thing inside of you, I'm going to lower your freak because you are somewhat less freakish and slightly more normal now. So your mundane goes up by 1.
That's
Which my mundane can't go up anymore. It's at
all
3
right.
as well.
In that case, your Boom, 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 boom. In that case, your superior goes up by 1.
It's also at a 3.
It's also at a 3. My goodness. Well,
Yeah.
in that case, there's only danger. There's only
Yeah.
danger. I can do anything with that.
Yep.
He did dissolve you. It's a thing.
True.
This is a thing that happened.
That is
Yeah.
true. I suppose that
It's a real bonding.
we can do it that way. Yeah.
I just got that joke, Brain.
Nice bonding.
That's really good.
thing.
The real bonding experience. Fuck you. So good. And Sparrow.
Yeah, for me it was definitely also a question of either growing into myself in the beginning, but then teamwork happened.
It definitely did.
And I think for me, Diamond's self-sacrifice was what did it.
All right.
So you shall have influence.
Does she have influence already?
Probably.
Diamond.
Yeah, I do.
Great.
Sorry.
What do you want to change then?
Well, do you have anything locked? I can't remember.
Not yet.
No, not yet. But I think your savior is probably maxed out.
It is.
So yeah, I was about to say. No, you know what? You've been turned into an unwilling bird, so your freak is going up.
Thank you.
And you've also been caught under rubble for a while, I think, and probably been in a slightly sort of situation. So I think your superior is going down by 1.
Of course it is. She is
That makes sense.
he's the unwilling recipient of some kind of plot on behalf of witches. Of course she
Yes.
would be like self-questioning.
Exactly my point.
Good
And
call.
I'm going to still be angry and guilty, but I'll mark potential.
Grand. Alright, so angry and guilty it is.
I'm angry and guilty too.
Hey, me
Oh,
too.
And we're in a
I don't know what
emotion buddies.
Hooray!
I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about.
No, but that's because you're such a good boy.
We're all
Yeah, no.
angsty and feel bad about it.
Yes.
Hello.
We can that
I'm-
actually-
My hair is cloth.
Seeing as Finn is such a good boy, does that mean he's a doggo?
Yes.
If
Yes.
upset,
My-
try eat spaghettis.
That will be my next comfort and support.
Good boy for president.
Indeed.
Anyway, cool. Now, Sparrow. Counterintuitive though it may be, we're in an awkward spot here where I feel like you have made progress against your doom despite being turned into a bird.
I agree because I learned of some of what can presumably also be her plans.
Yeah, you got like an inside scoop on what's going on because you were being sneaky and like probed your victim in the right way, and then you got off not scot-free at all. You're a bird, that's a problem. But you got out of there without being caught and presumably made to do whatever the catalyst is meant to do. So hooray!
There's that. There's also the fact that she now knows that she is the catalyst, and that apparently these witches are working with Black Raven.
Yeah, like these are things that these are knowledges that allows you to ask questions of certain people that you can hopefully get some useful out of.
And that actually gives me a potential, making me hit 5 potential.
Ding! What are you going to spend that potential on? Do you know?
No, not quite. Let's see. I've already taken 4, and I need to take 5 before I can move to the next tier. See, the
So-
thing is, I could get burn and flares from the Nova, but I'm afraid of,
Burning
stepping
out?
on someone's toes.
Oh, okay.
Burning bridges.
Burning bright.
I mean,
Burning
I
wheels?
could actually clear a Doom Sign.
You could clear Doomsign. It's totally. a
Because I
thing you
don't
can do.
really have anyone I think I should make lose permanent influence over me.
You can think about it till next time if you're not.
I'll think about it.
Yeah, okay, cool. So we'll see next time what you ended up with. Sweet. And yeah, so that is yeah. Sorry.
Cover and title.
Yes.
Yes, cover and title is something we should talk about. We should also I want to mention another thing because I think it's relevant to the conversation. But let's talk about cover and title. What does the cover of this issue look like?
I was thinking for the title, I put a spell on you.
My idea for a title would be Hour of the Raven.
Ooh,
Ooh, that's a good one.
Because Morrigan also has a lot to do with ravens.
Ooh, yes. That's an option.
Well, actually, Morrigan, the part, yeah. The Morrigan is an Irish deity, and she's a raven. So, yeah.
Yep. So I'm a raven, she's a raven, ravens involved. It's all very raveny.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's true. You're starting to run afoul of some people who are very close to you. Come on, that was good.
That was so ruddy awful.
Oh, well, you are though, and of some people who are embroiled with your nemesis. So yeah, we're starting to see some of that bleed over. So what do we think the cover looks like?
Maybe like the team standing there with a big silhouette of a raven or a bird overhead,
Would that
like
include
casting the shadow down on them.
Would that include Sparrow in the team lineup then?
Ooh, I would say no. Maybe because you're the raven.
My God, cover analytics. I'm into it.
Nice.
All right, cool. Dig it. So there's a thing I want to mention for the benefit of you, and also to some extent for the benefit of the viewing audience, I suppose. Actually, I'm going to talk about that in the next GM video, and you lots can be told once we end the session. So it's fine. If you want to hear the thing I'm talking about, there will be a video of me talking about how to play this game behind the scenes and what I'm doing very soon on CharismaToAC, so look for that. Anyway, you guys, thank you so much for playing. Had a blast. You were awesome. You did super cool stuff. Big fan. Defenders forever. And thank you, dear viewing audience, for tuning into this and watching us play this awesome role-playing game. This is the first game I've really sat down and like played on a long term of the Powered by the Apocalypse systems, and the system is just so easy and intuitive, and I mean when you have such awesome players, there's no way to go wrong. So thank you very much for watching Masks: A New Generation on CharismaToAC. We will be back in the near future with even more superheroic goodness, but until then, bye!
Boy.
Bye.
Waff the
Little
raven
Pip.
evermore.
Evermore!